them a very warm welcome when they come on. It's really hard to be up here and pitch a business. For some of the companies, this is the biggest pitch of their companies so far. So do give them a really warm welcome when they come on. Let's welcome to the stage from SHL Telemedicine, Shay Leibowitz, the VP of Business Development and Sales, and Iki Alroy, the CTO. No? Wait, Eric, hang on, we got Eric. It's already been disrupted. What's happening? Well, why is... Oh, okay. Let's do that all over again. Let's pretend none of that happened. Apparently we're just randomizing the order so that maybe next time I just won't announce the name. We can just guess when they come on who they are. So in that case, please welcome to the stage from Desmos, Eli Lubarov, the founder and CEO, and Andrew Gu, the CTO.
Which one?
This is session 4.
Session 4. There's only 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, let's call it 1.
Thank you so much. So I'm Eli Lubarov, founder and CEO of Desmos. Thanks for switching the order. I'm here to tell you about the future of education. And I'm joined here on stage by Andrew Gu, our CTO, who couldn't be here yesterday because he was busy graduating, and by one of my favorite toys. This is an interactive touchscreen, and I just want to show you what this can do. These are taking over classrooms in this country. More than a quarter of United States classrooms have one of these in them, and what it is a regular projector that you can touch and interact with. So I just want to show you this. You can drag things around. Really, really cool, taking over this country. But there's a huge problem, which is that there are a lot of different companies manufacturing these, and every single one of them has a different piece of software for building interactive content. That means your content is locked not only into your platform, but it's locked into the classroom. You can't access it from home. Teachers can't access it from home. We have a solution. So I want to show you this exact same lesson built in our software. So here, it looks exactly the same, but what you'll notice is that this is now completely browser-based. It's inside the Safari browser. This means two things. One, it means it works on any device that has a browser. The other, it means that multiple people can interact with this content simultaneously. So Andrew, why don't you do the same thing and drag out a label? Fantastic, and we actually have Greg, another person from our company, in the audience on a playbook, and he can drag something as well, and we'll be able to see it up here. So you can see him dragging it from his playbook, no special installed software. Did everyone see that? Really, really cool. All right, so let's go to page 2 of this, check our answers. It turns out that we didn't do very well. Let's go to page 3. What we have here is just an example of another type of lesson that you can do. So this is geography. So Andrew, why don't you tell us which state is the capital of Olympia? This is actually your home state. And there it is. And Greg, can you tell us which state has the longest coastline? Again, from the audience, on his playbook, dragging this out, no installed software, all browser-based. All right, so let's go to page 4. What we have done is we have managed to replicate downloadable software and put it in browser. I don't think this is a crowd where I need to tell you why that's awesome, but that's not enough for us. We wanted to solve other problems in education. So one that is most frustrating to me as a math and physics major is that it's really hard to do math on a computer. No longer. So Andrew, I want you to take our equation tool and write out the equation for a parabola. So he's just going to type this out. It's going to auto-format. This is a functioning calculator. So take out the graph paper, drag out a graph, and I want you to now take that equation and drop it on top of the graph paper, and it's going to process it. Now I want you to take that equation and modify it. Let's move it 2 units to the right and 3 units down. And so here you can see the graph updating as you change the equation, a totally new way of interacting with math. Now I'm a total math nerd. I know not all of you are, so I'm going to leave that there except for questions. But I just want to say, Texas Instruments, your monopoly on graphing in the classroom is over. All right. Thank you. So this is a lesson we were able to collaborate with Greg, but now I want to share this with the world. And the way that you do that is with our publish feature, which we're introducing today. So if you press this publish button, what it's going to do is process these pages, and we're going to see, if you go over to the second tab now, the final result of that is here, where it's made thumbnails of each page. You can give it a title, you can give it a description, you press submit, and it's going to now be a fully published, accessible lesson. So if we go over here, this is the exact same lesson, but it's now totally different in that 1 million people can look at this simultaneously, interact with it. They each have a local copy they can work with. We have embed code for this, so you can share it on a learning management system or in a blog. You can link to this. You can view it as a PDF. You can even download an offline version of this that doesn't require you to be connected to the internet so that it can be used in classrooms. So this is what we were able to do with our software. I want to show you what a professional was able to do. So this is actually the first time this lesson has been seen. It was built by New England Typographic Services for McGraw-Hill, and let's close that. And this is a beautiful lesson that they did using just our tools, building it in hours instead of a native piece of software. So click on the Explore, and here you're going to see we've embedded a video. Let's go down to the Apply, and here we've got all sorts of interactivity. You can imagine touching this, you can do it in browser, so let's see what clue 1 for word A is. All right, there's clue 4. Soil, you can click, it's interacting. This is truly interactive content. So I want to leave that there, but I have 2 really important announcements to make. So the first is, as of last Friday, we are funded. We had $800,000 in financing led by Mitch Kapoor, followed by Learn Capital and Kindler Capital. We're incredibly happy about that. And what we're going to do is make this even better. The second announcement is that as of right now, you can register for our site for the alpha version. You need the code TCDisrupt. We've launched 500 people can do this, and I'm going to leave that there. I hope that you will join us in changing the future of education. Thanks.
That was Desmos. That was day 2 is going to be a good day, I think. Also, I went to school in the wrong decade. That was cool. Tony, thoughts and questions? No,
not yet.
You can't pass on to Chris. All right, Chris.
Yeah. So first of all, that's totally rad. I'm curious, like, what's the rate of adoption in schools these days, and what's the channel to get there? I mean, so you've built this really cool tool. It's browser-based, so there isn't really a deep software commitment on behalf of schools. But how do you get to the decision makers there?
That's an excellent question. So these boards have infiltrated 25% of schools here, 80% in the UK. But right now they're not really being used to their full potential. They're mostly being used as dry erase boards that are really expensive, or overhead projectors that are just a little bit expensive. How do we get to them? So we're actually trying a bottom-up approach on one side, which is why we're going to launch this for all teachers as soon as we're out of our testing period. But the other is that we're working with publishers who've already invested a ton of resources into this kind of content. They had $400 million in revenue last year, small fraction of their revenue for the top 4 publishers, but $400 million in revenue from interactive content. And they love this. The reason is that they can build a lesson once and get it to all teachers instead of having to build it 3 or 4 or 8 times.
Howard?
I just wonder, who are the 4 big educational publishers that you're talking to?
So McGraw-Hill, Houghton Mifflin Harcourt, Pearson, Cengage are the big 4. We have actually pilot projects with all 4 of them.
Okay, great.
John?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of reminded me of the first time I saw Oddpost, actually, with this, like, you know, beautiful JavaScript and Ajax stuff. I mean, it reminded me of the first time I saw Tony's company. And so I thought that was beautiful. It just seems like a lot of different applications. I mean, I don't know if you're focused on one thing or it's just it's a portfolio of products. You know, tell me more about the actual products that you're launching. Is it all of these things?
So which things are you?
I mean, are you launching a whole portfolio of products, or it's a general purpose tool?
It's a general purpose tool. So we want this to be a platform on which other people can build content. We'll do it too. Publishers will do it as well. But it's just a platform for building any subject. So like, I'm really good at building math lessons, but there are other people who are great at building history lessons. We want them to be able to build using this as well. And it's basically 2 applications we're launching, which is the collaborative version, the whiteboard that you saw, and then also this published version that you can then embed across the web.
Right.
I had a question about social collaboration. So I watch my own children, the way that they like to do homework together.
Yep.
So how does that tool facilitate that?
So this tool is fantastic for it. The application built around it is not ready for that yet. So one thing that we didn't show you is that if you create a whiteboard, which any student could, but I doubt many will at the beginning, but once you build this whiteboard, you can then invite anyone to collaborate on it with you by email. And so that's what we did with Greg in the audience. Was that the question?
I think that's your most critical hook.
Oh, I agree completely. I agree completely. This is the alpha launch. As I said, we raised $100,000 up until last Friday, $800,000 last Friday. So when we come back next year, it's going to be 9 times as awesome if I know my math.
Awesome.
Any more questions for them? Wow. Okay. Short Q&A. Everyone seems impressed. So that's Desmos. Big round of applause for them. All right. A couple of quick bits of housekeeping. Does anyone want some water? I have water here. Everyone good? So, yeah? Also, we are aware that there's a